Hey everybody, and welcome back to Basketball Trending, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the NBA play-in tournament for the NBA playoffs in 2020, talking a little bit about how this works because there's a very unique history with these sort of wild card rounds in other professional sports. College basketball has actually had these as part of March Madness, but this is the first time that the NBA has adopted this similar model during its restart, of course, with a play-in tournament for the 8th seed in the Western Conference. We've never really seen anything like this before, but there have been a few instances where this has been seen a little bit similarly, although again this is still different than anything from the past. So since the NBA adopted an 8-team postseason format in 1984, there have been 3 instances where 2 teams have played for the final playoff spot on the final night of the NBA season. So here's exactly what went down. In 2018, the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and this was on the final night of the 2017-18 regular season. The Nuggets, with a record of 46-35, visited the Timberwolves, who also had a record of 46-35 for their final spot in the NBA playoffs, led by 31 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds from Jimmy Butler, and a 26-point, 14-rebound double-double from Karl Anthony Towns. The Wolves earned a 112-106-point win to end a 13-year playoff drought. As the West's number 8 seed, Minnesota would lose in 5 games to James Harden, Chris Paul, and the Houston Rockets. The second instance of this happening here was with the Washington Bullets and the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1997. Cleveland had a record of 42-39, hosted Washington with a record of 43-38 for the opportunity to take on Michael Jordan and the Bulls in the first round of the 1997 playoffs. Behind Chris Webber's double-double, 23 points and 17 rebounds, the Bullets defeated Cleveland by a final score of 85-81. And of course, this led to Washington finishing the season with a record of 44-38 and ended its 9-year postseason drought. But they didn't stick around for very long. Jordan, Pippen, and the rest of the crew just absolutely swept them under the rug for the 1997 NBA championship. The final instance of this happening was in 1995, with the Sacramento Kings versus the Denver Nuggets. The Kings were 39-42, and they visited Denver, who were 40-41, for a shot to make the postseason for the first time since 1986. The Nuggets were 1 year removed from being the first ever number 8 team to defeat a number 1 seed in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Nuggets earned their second consecutive playoff appearance with a 102-89 victory over the Kings. Dikembe Mutombo filled the stat sheet in the win, finishing with 13 points, 19 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks. As the first round upsets go, history did not repeat itself for the number 8 Nuggets in 1995. David Robinson and the Spurs swept Denver in the first round, winning all 3 games by an average margin of 15.3 points. So these are the only other 3 instances where this has happened. Now, in regards to the 2020 setup, this is a little bit different. So the format's a little straightforward, but it could be a little confusing to some of the newer NBA fans. So this format basically works where they are all competing for the Western Conference 8th seed, and in order to get into the tournament and advance the actual playoffs, they have to make it to the play-in round. So the number 8 and number 9 seeds in the West make it to this round, and those spots were clinched Thursday night by the Trailblazers and Grizzlies, respectively. The play-in tournament itself is pretty simple. The number 9 seed will need to win twice to make it to the playoffs, while the number 8 seed will need to win just once. So if on Saturday the Trailblazers win, the tournament will end there. If Grizzlies win on Saturday, then they will set up a winner-take-all scenario on Sunday. If you're wondering why there isn't a play-in for the Eastern Conference, it's because no one has finished within 4 games of the number 8 Magic. That's the margin that activated this format. So that's the way the schedule works. Game 1 will be Saturday, August 15th, and Game 2 will be Sunday, August 16th. And the NBA play-in tournament, of course, will wrap up this weekend in Orlando and finalize the league's 2020 playoff bracket. Now, of course, as you guys know, there are tons of different protocols being taken for COVID-19 with health protocols. There'll be no tickets sold and no crowd, and the NBA has been working very closely with infectious disease experts and specialists to establish a very rigorous program to mitigate the risk from this happening. So the way that this works is if the team in the 8th best record in its conference is more than 4 games ahead of the team with the 9th best record, as I mentioned, no play-in tournament will be necessary. That's why in the Eastern Conference there is no play-in tournament. In regards to the schedule, the first round begins on August 17th, the conference semifinals on August 31st, the conference finals begin on September 15th, and the NBA finals begin on September 30th. And of course, this will follow the same format. Once the 16-team playoff field is set, the NBA playoffs will proceed in a traditional conference-based format featuring the usual best-of-7 series in the first round, conference semifinals, conference finals, and of course the finals. In regards to the future of the NBA for this year, the NBA Draft Lottery will be on August 15th, 2020. Of course, the 14 lottery teams will be the 8 teams that did not participate in the comeback and the 6 teams that participated in the comeback but did not qualify for the playoffs. These teams will be seeded in the lottery and assigned to odds based on their records from March 11th. The 16 playoff teams will draft in inverse order of their combined records across regular season games and seeding games. The draft itself will be on October 16th, and their early entry deadline is August 17th, with the early entry withdrawal deadline as October 6th. Teams and free agents will begin negotiating at 6 p.m. Eastern on October 18th, which is 6 hours before the annual moratorium. The moratorium will begin at 12:01 Eastern Time on October 19th and continue through noon on October 23rd. This makes us think, of course, when the 2021 season will begin. It is highly speculated that it will begin on the regular time of December 1st, 2020, but we'll just have to wait and see. That being said, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this was able to break it down a little bit for all you guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball videos coming each and every week. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.